Hey. Alrighty, welcome back. So in this video, I want to share a little bit, and I mean a little bit, of astrological information with you in how it sometimes pertains to tarot. Now, same as we had way in the beginning of the course when I was speaking about numerology, I want to remind you that you do not have to have the smallest inkling of astrology. You don't need to understand it. You don't have to go study it additionally in order to be an amazing tarot reader. If you do, it will add to your tarot knowledge. But for now, I really want to encourage you to really just stick to tarot itself until you really have that very nicely sort of sorted within yourself. And only then would I encourage you to sort of branch out onto other things. And just another thing that I would like to really bring home to you with tarot in relation to astrology. Astrology is very similar to, well, in ways similar to numerology. It's almost like a report. It is given to you. It's very straightforward. It's not really open to interpretation. You don't need to have the smallest inkling of sort of like psychic ability or even psychic interest in order to very accurately read an astrology chart and to be a brilliant astrologer. All right, so astrology is very much, you've got a chart, all the information is there. You as the person who's the astrologer is basically relaying that information to your client. No, you will never really hear an astrologer say, I feel, I sense, because it's not about feeling and it's not about sensing. It's about literally reading a report. Whereas with tarot, it's about reading the information that is given to you, but then it's also about bringing your intuition to the table with it. All right. Numerology is an amazing thing in this world. Astrology is an incredible thing, but as you probably guessed by now, tarot is more my sort of thing. But that is just me personally, which doesn't have to be your opinion at all. All right. So very simply with astrology, astrology's got 12 houses, which just basically mean 12 different signs, what we normally call zodiac signs or sun signs. And all that really means is that in these 12 sort of zodiac houses, so to speak, that we have, the sun was in your house at your time of birth. So I'm a Cancer, for example, which means at the time of my birth, which was the 8th of July, 1982, 14:45 in Cape Town in South Africa, the sun was in Cancer. That's really what it means. Okay. Now, I just want to give you a very quick run through of the 12 different zodiac houses. This is literally the quickest sort of summary run through. And then I want to show you how it relates to tarot. This may be something that is interesting to you. If it is, you can roll with that. It's sufficient information for you to incorporate into your tarot reading. You don't really need more unless you're specifically interested in in astrology. And if you are, you will find more information. But so the first house, or the beginning, technically speaking, when you think of January being the first month of the year, we've got Aries, which is technically the beginning of the astrological year. Plus minus. So Aries is all about new beginnings. It's all about starts. It's a very go sort of energy. It's a very self-focused energy, and it's a very ambitious sort of energy. Very almost like sort of like you can almost say like a sort of mixture between the pages and the knights. That's a very sort of Aries energy. Then you get Taurus. Taurus is very much about the more simple things in life. But Taurus is also, I love Taurus. Taurus is one of those people that it doesn't really matter what your problem is in life. They will always say, let's go shopping, let's go for coffee, let's go for lunch, let's go for a walk. They're very positive people, okay? Then you get Gemini, which is normally known as the zodiac twins. So it's like the two sort of sides. Gemini energy is very chatty. The planet for Gemini is Mercury, which is it's sort of like a very fast moving on the move sort of planet. And so with Gemini in tarot, it's always about the two different parts that are coming together or that are being expressed, be that they're expressed harmoniously or be that they're expressed as opposites. Okay. It also often means things coming together. Cancer or Cancerian or lunar children or moon children, what they're sometimes called. Cancer is a very sort of sensitive sign, and they're sort of natural empaths. They just sort of take on other people's emotions quite easily, and they also understand other people's emotions quite easily. Leo, which is a very sort of like outside sort of bright shining sign, which always likes to encompass all other people. And then we've got Virgo. So we are now in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Virgo. Virgo's a very analytical sign. They come very much from the mind. For Virgo, something has to make sense in the mind before they can accept it in the heart or open their heart to it. Just a quick little side note there, you get somebody like Cancer, for example, who's the opposite. It has to make sense in the heart first before they can accept it in the mind. Okay. Libra is a sign of balance. There's always a sense of balance, getting things to work out evenly. With Libras in general, or if you've got strong Libra in your chart, because we've got all different things in our chart as well, Libra can sometimes be their own worst enemy. Well, all the signs can basically be, because remember, there's a positive and there's a negative in all signs. But Libra can sometimes be so focused on getting balance in others and in the world that they actually forget about themselves. Scorpio, oh, my poor Scorpios. Scorpios always get the worst reputation for being these horrible, terrible, disgusting, vile people. But Scorpio really, what they effectively do is they point out or reflect to you what are the things within yourself that are not working out, what is it that needs healing, and what is also blocking you from going to that next step. Sagittarius, my rising is in Sagittarius, and what this basically means, if you think of, remember, as I said, when I was born, my sun was in Cancer. So if you look way over the horizon, what is the first sort of planet that you can see on the horizon? And that places me in the sign of Sagittarius, okay? Sagittarius is also, it's a very go sort of energy. I'm one of those people, once I made my mind up, I'm going for something. The one thing about Sagittarius is that, wonderful as they are, they sometimes take on too many projects, which is something that I can be known to do. And also they get themselves into tight spots sometimes. They can easily get bored at times. And they can also sometimes have a tendency to not finish projects. All right. And with all the love that I created this course with, it's from the time of me wearing this beautiful top that I'm wearing over here, which I love. It's made from pure breathing cotton. Until the last videos, a couple of weeks have actually passed because I got myself caught up in sort of other things. Okay. Capricorn is a very sort of expressive sign. Capricorn is all about the outside. It's all about, you know, if you kind of think of somebody shining outside, sort of like in the spotlight, it's a very sort of expressive side of human beings. The part of life that you want to experience on a sort of, you know, outside, how you'd like your outside world to look. A lot of times people think of Capricorns as very self-centered, but they are also really just, they're all about life and they're all about experiencing life. Aquarius, very analytical sign, more sensitive than most people actually realize. And Aquarius is also, they've got that wonderful analytical thing going that they have. They get to see the world in ways that many other people actually don't. And then, interesting as my chart is, my moon, which means the way I process emotions, is actually in Aquarius. And so a lot of times people will say, for example, that Cancerians, which I am, and Aquarius, you know, they don't really get along. I just want to sort of caution you with that, because astrology is not as cut and dry as we sometimes make it out to be. All right. And horoscopes, which I think is a wonderful thing that you get in magazines and online and stuff like that, it's very sort of skim off the top. Okay. And then lastly, Pisces is all about sort of ending. It's about clearing out. Pisces can very easily take on other people's emotions. And something to also remember with Pisces is that it's about endings, it's about celebrations, and it's about preparing to go to new sort of phases. Whereas Aries, that we had at the beginning, we said that's almost like the January of the year. Pisces is like December. Okay, then just something that I very quickly wanted to touch on for you. I know this video is a bit longer than the other ones, but I just sort of wanted to put all this for you together in one video and not spread it across a whole lot of videos, because remember, this course is about tarot. Okay, now, what we have in astrology, and I'm going to put it to you very briefly. So there's the 12 zodiac houses, and then there are sort of four sort of sectors. There are many others, but the four main sectors that they are sort of like subcategorized in is fire signs, which is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And the fire signs are very much about expression. They're very much go-getters. And they come with a lot more emotion than people actually give them credit for quite often, okay? So there's the fire signs, and then we've got the water signs, which is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. They sort of the much more kind of like emotional signs that often sort of just take on other people's emotions. Then we have got the air signs, which is a lot more analytical, more in the mind sort of sense. And those are Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And then lastly, we have got the earth signs, which is very much sort of like the earth children, needing earth a lot of times. And they are Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. So I'm not going to go through all the minor arcana because then you're going to get yourself confused. But all I'm going to say is that the suit of wands in the minor arcana is represented by the fire signs, or they sort of represent the fire signs, so to speak, collectively. There are subdivisions, but collectively they represent the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, they represent cups, or cups represent them rather. Let's rather put it like that. Cups represent them in a broader sense of the word. The swords suit, they represent the air signs, Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. And they are more sort of like the thinking sign. Remember, swords is about the things that need to be done, the things that need to be cleared, the decisions that need to be reached, and the decisions that need to be accepted. And then the aces, or the suit of aces, they represent the earth signs, which is Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. And remember, the earth signs is, they are, or let's rather put it like this, Pentacles is all about manifestation, worldly manifestation. Okay, now I'm going to run you through this very, very quickly. You can write this down if you want to. It's actually quite nice sometimes when we do have this. Again, it's not necessary, but so I'm just going to show you in the major arcana what the 22 cards, what sort of zodiac sign they are associated with. Just very important to remember that whereas in astrology, certain zodiac signs are associated with certain planets, it's the same in astrology. In tarot, but remember, and it's very important to remember this, that in tarot, the planetary association is not always the same as the zodiac association. Remember, if you are going to incorporate astrology into tarot, you have to really look at it. You first of all want to sort of understand astrology. You want to have a good basic understanding. And you want to approach it from a tarot point of view and not from an astrology point of view. Because if you approach it from an astrology point of view, you're going to fall off the card badly. All right. And you might even have unnecessary fights with astrologers. So for the sign of Aries, we've got the Emperor, which is all about balance. And we have got the Tower, which is about taking things out and new beginnings. All right, so remember the Emperor, new beginning, stability, walking into that stability. Tower, getting rid of what doesn't work for something new to start. Okay, then we've got Taurus, which is represented by the Hierophant. What do we do in the sticky situation? All right, that's what Taurus is about. Then we've got Gemini, which is the Magician, as well as the Lovers. And people normally gravitate especially towards the Lovers with Gemini because it's two parts coming together. The Magician is obviously almost sort of like alchemy, like magic. And if you know, or if you are a Gemini, you'll know there's almost like a sense of magic around the Gemini. They're almost sort of like, in a sense, they're almost like an enigma, really. They're quite amazing. Cancer, we've got the High Priestess. And we have also got the Chariot card, which is that very sort of conflict of emotions, because if you know a Cancer personally, or you know somebody with strong Cancer in their chart, you also know that their moods can really fluctuate quite a bit depending on what the moon is basically doing at the moment and the other planets. For Leo, we've got the Strength card, and we've also got the Sun card, which is all about, you know, what do we do on the inside to reflect brightly on the outside. For Virgo, we've got the Hermit, which is that, you know, giving the body a break to give the mind some time just to reach, you know, a form of conclusion. For the Justice card, we've got 3 cards. We've got, or sorry, for Libra, we've got 3 cards. Not surprisingly at all, there's the Justice card, which is about balance. There is the Empress card, which lets you know that things, it's all about abundance. Things are coming, but just give it a bit of a shot. And we've got the Judgment card, because sometimes you need to, you know, draw a judgment. And then for the Scorpio cards, not surprisingly, we've got the Death card, which is all about new beginnings, letting go what doesn't work, new beginnings, and the Devil. Remember how we are sometimes holding ourselves sort of down in the world. And as we said with Scorpios, that Scorpios, they sort of reflect often to you the things in life that are not working within yourself. Sagittarius, I've got the Hanged Man. It's all about faith, as well as the Temperance card. And Sagittarius, with the Temperance card, remember, it's wherever you go, things will work out fine. Sagittarius has a way of just making things work. It's absolutely amazing. For Capricorn, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is all about that outside expression of the world, as well as the world. I was just thinking, okay, so the world. All right, so that is all Capricorn, which is obviously that outside expression, and obviously with the world there, end of a cycle, starting a new cycle. Capricorn's always asking, what can we do new? How can we be different? How can we jazz this up? Okay. For Aquarius, we've got the Fool, and we've also got the Star. So the Fool, new beginnings, brave new beginnings, well-planned new beginnings, as well as the Star really aligning with the beautiful universal energy, because Aquarius, they're very analytical, but they also have a wonderful sense of connection, sort of, you know, with the universe. And then lastly, Pisces. And has got the Moon, and the Moon is obviously very much about your emotions sometimes, in a sense of where will your emotions take you? Will it take you up or will it take you down? And if Pisces can learn to control that, they become absolutely, absolutely invincible. I hope you enjoy that. I hope it's not too much. I'll see you in the next video.